Welcome back, guys. Back to Mini Cooper Things. I think today, hopefully we can get a lot accomplished. We're kind of in a good spot from last video. I did do a little bit of work with it off camera. I started drilling the holes for between the rear shelf and then this lower section of the cage, so that it would bolt through. I also had to go pick up a bunch of metal from the metal supplier because we need to build some things. But I need to figure out, there's a couple things that I'm not quite sure about. One of them is, I don't know how that upper part of the cage is gonna fit in there, because I kind of half-assed tried to get it through the door last time and it didn't really work out. So I need to figure out how that's gonna go in there, because if I can't get it in through the door, that means I gotta drop this subframe back down again, and I'm gonna absolutely hate life. And I really hope that doesn't happen. But that's probably one of the first things we could try, because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and then figure out I need to take it back apart. So yeah, that might be where we're headed. So let's just get to work. I don't know what the fuck I was doing last time. That fucker went right in today. I must have just been tired, or I don't know, something. I just need a different perspective. It literally just it was 2 minutes. I got it right in there. I don't know what I was doing before. Obviously this bigger front section needs to go in still too, but I mean, I don't think that one's going to be a problem. I mean, I guess we'll find out. But for the moment, I need to get this piece at least kind of bolted up into there, so that because I need to make the rear brackets, because there's a big fucking space down here, and let me show you. Yeah, so here's the problem, is that obviously is supposed to bolt to there, but there's a really big gap right there, and the pictures that they sent me show that it's supposed to be even, but when I talked to guys online that had this kit, they ended up having the same gap too. And like I said, it's hard to see through the glass, but I ran a bolt through there on both sides, so it's bolted into the rear shelf, so it can't really go up much higher. So I need to make a spacer. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I got some box tubing. I got a couple different sizes. I got 1.5, I think this is 1.5 by 2.5 maybe, and I think this is 1 by 2, I believe, something like that. So I figure one of these two, I can probably chop it up and make it work to bridge that gap, because I figure if I cut it at an angle, I can get the bolts in on the bottom, and then I'll still be able to get the bolts in on the top. You'll see what that looks like when I get to that point. But I think at the moment, I think I want to put that top piece on here, even though obviously I have that piece of metal that needs to go in between. For the moment, I really just need to get it set into place, because yeah, I just need to see how everything's going to fit before I decide what I'm going to do with that metal piece. So let's bolt this on. Okay, so I started fitting things. I got this one physically in the car, but I couldn't quite get it to bolt up because I had that one tight. And then I decided, you know what, before I get too carried away, we're gonna weld all this shit, because obviously we had some weld problems. I already re-welded the top of that one, went over the whole thing, fixed it, it's all good. I went over this one, I went over this sidebar, so I need to do a little bit of paint. I just kind of wanted to show you, this is one of the other sidebars that's totally jacked. I just wanted to show you guys the kind of bullshit I'm trying to fix. This thing is so undercut, it's ridiculous. You can see it's a concave shape instead of convex. And basically what happened here is they ran it too hot and they didn't put enough filler material in here. And basically what can happen is it'll crack, it'll break right there on the edges of those welds, because there's not enough material, because it's really, really thin between that and that. And that's a safety concern. So that's why we're going over all these, and we're fixing all these welds, adding more filler, so that it's a nice, sturdy weld. So I'm gonna weld this one up, throw some paint on this and that other one, and then try to fit it again. Okay, I got that one finished. You can see finished product. There's a lot of walk in the cup, so it's kind of like a lot of back and forth because there's a pretty big gap right there, essentially, that they left me because, yeah, they undercut it so fucking hard, but she's pretty solid now. All right, we're finally getting somewhere. Finally got these ones lined up. These ones, like this top piece is a little bit tweaked. I can't remember, I think both of them are a little bit tweaked. So it's gonna make, there's like a gap there, so it's gonna have to, you know, it's gonna take some doing to get all those bolts to line up, but I think it's gonna line up. I just need to test fit these side bars, the door bars. Once I have the door bars in, I should be able to like actually tighten up the bolts on here. So this is nice and tight, tighten up, you know, make some brackets for back there, tighten up the rest of the cage. I think we'll be in a good spot. So yeah, I just need to wait for those to dry a little bit and I can put those in and hopefully we'll be in a good spot. So I think we already are. Finally bought a bandsaw so we can cut up these brackets that we're gonna make for this this engine mount situation to make it very trouble-free, honestly. Just kind of set it and I can even walk away from it because it shuts off automatically. It's really nice. Just a Harbor Freight deal, but hell yeah. All right, this is basically what I came up with for my engine brackets to adapt it to the cage. You can see this, you can get it to slide in there, is essentially how it goes. So you can bolt both sides on there, and yeah, you can access everything and it works pretty good. So now that I got both of those done, I just need to clean them up a little bit, throw some paint on them, and then I can actually install them for real. Okay, we're just about ready to put the engine in. I got, yeah, I got both of those brackets bolted in. I got these other firewall pieces you can see right here and there are bolted in, which it's entirely possible I'm gonna have to take some of this stuff back apart again, but you know, for the moment it's in there. Obviously I'm gonna want to seal this off to some degree. I might just use like, you know, insulation or something and just kind of put it in there to kind of block that hole completely, but for the moment I think we're gonna try and put the engine in. So wish me luck, guys. Oh guys, I would have videotaped me putting the engine in, but I've been at it for hours. Like, holy shit, that was an ordeal. And yeah, I'm gonna show you around so you can see what I got going on. First of all, ta-da! There's a K series in it. Oh. But I have many problems. One is that they sent me the wrong fucking transmission mount. I don't know what in the hell they were thinking, but that is not the right one. This is a K20 tranny, but it was supposed to be for a K20. I don't know what the hell this is for, but it is not for this transmission. So I think I'm gonna have to build some spacers here to make up the distance, which, yeah, we're gonna do that not today because it's really late. This also did not line up because that was the only hole that was in there. So I had to drill a new hole. I had to take this all the way off, drill a new hole because, yeah, it didn't fucking line up at all. I don't know what in the hell that bracket is for, but it is not for this. But we're gonna make it for this after we, you know, weld some shit onto there and make it work. This rear transmission bracket also didn't really fit. This bushing was like centered and it actually needed to be, I had to pound it over to get it to go in. I also had to drill these holes out a little bit because they didn't fit on the transmission very well. And then this had to be kind of cocked a little bit, which isn't the biggest deal. It had some play in it already. So yeah, that part's in there. I will say this mount over here fit pretty good. It kind of just went in. It wasn't really, there was no drama associated with it. The biggest problem that I had, I think, was honestly that I didn't have anything that went high enough because my motorcycle jack, even with wood blocks, I could not get it to go up in there high enough. The quick jacks, I could bring it down pretty far, but even at the lower lock, it was still too high. I actually had to go past the lock, so I ended up having to put jack stands under it, a jack. It was so much. And if you're wondering how I got in here, because it wouldn't clear under the bumper going this way, I actually went through the wheel well, but then the problem was I was hitting these control arms, and that was a whole thing, trying to get it through there. But, you know, it's bolted in there, guys. Kind of walk around here, kind of see this angle, see what we got going on. Yeah, it was a lot. I actually used like some ratchet straps to strap across the top to kind of center it, and then in through the chain, and it was so much, guys, so much. I'm so tired. I'm freaking exhausted, sweaty. I will say one thing I did notice after bolting the cage in, obviously everything's tight right now. It did tweak the chassis a little bit, and I don't know, you can see that there's a big difference in gap here, which I could probably drill the holes out in the trunk and kind of shift it around to get it where it needs to be. But obviously it did tweak the chassis a little bit. You really visually can't tell when you're looking at it straight on, and maybe, you know, maybe the chassis was already tweaked. I don't know. I mean, the trunk does still shut, and you can see there was actually a mark right here. It was already touching right there a little bit. So it's just a little bit further now, and you have to push a little bit harder to get it shut. And you can see it's off. But I think if I drill those holes out, we can probably, yeah, we can tweak it a little bit and make it fit. But the most important thing is the engine's in, we got the cage in, we're feeling good. It's a lot, but we're making big progress, guys. Hell yeah. Well, guys, big accomplishment. Obviously, the engine's in, so that's a big win. There's a lot of fuckery to come. You'll soon see that I've discovered since some of these videos, since I made them. And yeah, a lot of work to be done, but we're making progress, and that's all that matters, like I always say. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So like, subscribe, do all the things. Peace out.